For 4 and 20, we've been there for it all. Australia's original fan food. Marty, he's here.
Hello, Max.
Max.
Good morning.
You look great.
Thank you.
Big day.
Yeah.
Big day.
Massive day.
Game day.
You
Game
worried
day.
about the weather?
Well, I'm pretty like I like to know what the weather's doing, and I
It's gonna
feel
be
like
windy.
I feel like the wind's going to push the rain. It could push the rain away.
Oh.
You know, when
Yeah.
there's wind, the rain doesn't necessarily always hit.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't really care. I'm happy to play with rain as well.
Yeah.
That's the company line there to
The,
finish.
the toss could mean something, so we're going to toss a coin. Do you want to
Okay.
do a couple of tosses?
Yeah, I've got an amazing coin toss record.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
are you comfortable tossing the coin now? Because I don't want you to feel like you might be sucking
Yeah.
a win out of yourself.
Bad juju.
I'm tails never fails every time. So
Really?
I'm not even going to choose heads.
Doesn't matter.
They think I'm not a good coin tosser.
Because you're not.
I-
Show Max.
He's seen a lot
I'm
of
like,
tosses.
That's
Oh,
tails.
that
Yeah,
didn't
that's-
even turn.
That didn't even turn.
What are you talking about?
That was a bad coin toss.
Mate,
That's actually
that-
more of a talent to be able to keep it flat the
That
whole time.
hovered. That was a
was
good
better.
one.
That was better.
That was
That was
good.
better.
No, you didn't do it.
Tails.
And they've
That's
both been
tails.
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 Yeah, they
Yeah,
have both
Tails
been
never
tails.
fails.
Good wins.
So in 2021 Premiership year, you went at 80%.
80%.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And I saw a stat the other day come across my desk. I'm not good at bringing up stats because I got them wrong last time about the TIO.
Yeah, your Darwin stuff.
I think I was winning this year.
Okay.
I don't know what the actual record was.
I
but-
couldn't find it, but,
yeah,
I'll,
but
I'll
I've
take
sent a
your
few milestone guys to do the toss, so they're not all me.
word. Right, okay.
But yeah, tails never fails. And I've got the call tonight as the away team.
Of course.
You going to go tails?
Yeah, good.
In that sentence as well. Tails never fails.
Okay.
Good.
So you're definitely going tails?
Oh,
Definitely going tails.
Interesting. We'll
Yeah.
see. Melbourne won a thriller by 4 points when you played earlier this year. It was Collingwood's first loss in more than 2 months. That gives you a little bit of sort of up and about, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, that's the most recent form. Last year, both teams have been basically the same, and they got us twice. So it's going to be. My guess is a close is a close game. Especially if it rains, will be even closer. And then both teams perform really well in last quarters. So it's going to be a fun game.
Solo ruck for you.
Solo ruck.
They've named Darcy Cameron and Mason Cox.
Technically, Van Rooyen has been doing a fair bit more ruck work than it's. I can't really call myself a solo ruck. He's been doing a fair bit.
Sure.
He had 16 hitouts last week against the Swans.
Jeez.
So I'm pretty confident with him as my partner, and Tom McDonald's there as well. He likes to back himself in the ruck every now and then. But these guys are a good combo. Probably one of the lasting two ruck teams, and it's because they both play their role. So that's why it's going to be tough.
Showers developing, winds of 30 to 45 kilometres an hour, 90% chance of 1 to 4 millimetres of rain. That's nothing.
It's a shower.
Chance of a thunderstorm.
It's going to the wind doesn't bother us in the G too much. It swirls a tiny bit, but it doesn't really bother us. So I think it's going to. My gut feel is it's going to be perfect conditions.
yeah, good.
Do you ever think that there is a goal scoring end at the MCG, or is it
Not at
that
all.
big that there's not at all?
The toss is the least important at the G. It's not as unimportant as Marvel. Marvel's there's just no point in that coin toss at all.
Yeah.
Might as
No.
well just do a rock off or
Yeah.
decide on the way out.
That
You
would
just
be
go that
fun.
way.
Guitar hero, perhaps.
But then there is there is some grounds. Obviously, Hobart is a
Oh
big
my
coin
God.
toss. Adelaide Oval. Some of the ones where the wind can affect it.
Yeah, because Adelaide's got that end that has nothing.
Yeah, I like to think I like to come home with the cheer squad sometimes.
Yeah, nice. Kick to the
right.
cheer squad.
Yeah.
Boys will lift.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Goodwin has no issue with Brodie Grundy meeting with Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley last week, even though he's got 4 years remaining on his Melbourne contract.
I mean, you're allowed to talk to whoever you want, I suppose.
With 4 years to go?
This is the story of myself and Brodie. Like, I've been playing football for 15 years. I've won a flag in there. I've had some individual success. I've had some pretty big adversity. This is the most I've ever been talked about in my life, and it's not even about me.
It's about Brodie.
So indirectly, I've been mentioned more than I've ever been mentioned within media outlets, and you got to feel for Brodie in a way. Like I spoke to him the other day, and he keeps his head underwater a fair bit and doesn't see it. He said he needed to come up and get some air the other day. Wanted to poke up and see what's happening, and there was 7 different articles on him from
Oh,
a
yeah.
Collingwood player, a Melbourne player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal, and I don't understand the love for this story. Like I get It was a big call for us to go double ruck with 2 All-Australian rucks.
Yeah.
But I just don't get the love for this story. At the moment, he's not in the team. He's still a chance to play in the next 2 finals.
What's his boyfriend's name?
I'm going to continue on with my explanation and
Okay.
just ignore that you
Sure.
asked the question. there.
Yep, no problems.
Good from you, mate.
No problems, Max.
And I'm still keen on him as a journey for us to get this right over the next few years. But he's got every right to talk to other clubs at the same time.
It would cost a lot of money if he left with 4 years to go on his contract.
Yeah, I'm not aware of.
It'd be one of those
What
ones where
happens there?
Melbourne pays X amount a year just to get rid of him. It doesn't make any sense.
A lot of that doesn't make sense, but Collingwood obviously famously are paying Treloar and Brody, and they're currently the best team in the comp. So
Did you see they
I don't think
cracked
it really matters.
106,000 members the other day?
that's a
Collingwood?
lot. We've just cracked 70 for the first time since I've been to the club, and it just seems like that's the biggest number ever. And then you go to
Yeah.
Collingwood, Richmond. We're 8th. And I'm not sure what you 3 think of the D's 4. Sorry, Troy.
That's all right, Max.
He is
I'm
quiet.
interested.
He is quiet
I
over there. He
listen.
loves footy.
I hang on every word
He
you
loves
say.
to listen.
Yeah.
It's
But,
an education for me.
Melbourne didn't seem like a big club when I got drafted there. Like it seemed like it was.
They were 50 odd.
There's the big 4: Richmond, Essendon, Carlton, Collingwood. Probably add Geelong to that. And you think Melbourne's now top 8, and we're ahead of Adelaide Crows, that you think are a massive club. We're even with Hawks, who have 20,000 Tassie members. So we're going really well.
How's your debt?
They're debt. I'm pretty sure debt free.
Yeah.
I don't talk to the CFO very often. But my understanding
You should.
is
You should have a catch up.
Chat.
my understanding is we've been debt free for a while.
Why don't you have a coffee catch up?
Yeah, we should.
You guys love that. All right, let's come back, talk about the other games that are taking place this weekend. It's such an exciting time of year. So lovely to see you, Max. You look fit.
Yep.
You look well. How's the bod?
Bod's good. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, we just had a 2-week break.
Even at the end, at this time of year?
It was bad last year, I
Was
must say, and that's this time of year. But
Any
this,
niggles?
No. Well,
None?
I've had this little finger guard on for a while.
Yeah, you've had that finger
Yeah.
guard on for weeks. How's the finger?
But it hasn't really worried me. So
Nice.
What's the actual issue with that finger?
just can't bend some parts of it that should be bending.
Yeah.
It's not affecting you.
It's not affecting
No.
game day.
Are you strapping it on game day?
Yeah, I strapped this guard too, so make sure it doesn't
Oh, so
fall
you
off.
put the guard in there
just keep-
under the strapping.
Yeah, there's a smaller, thinner guard that's a little bit better, but I would say there's 7 guys in our team that currently have a finger guard of some sort.
There'd be some serious injuries coming into September, wouldn't they, that players are protecting the media from?
The
There'd be some
2-week break
hurt
helps.
blokes running around.
The 2-week break definitely helps.
So you're a fan of pre-finals bye?
Well, I didn't say that.
Oh.
So stay out of it, Luke.
It certainly helps injuries, but like the grand final, I like the 2 weeks before the granny
Yeah.
that we had in 2021. That just made the experience so much better for the grand final teams.
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks of not partying. What's the
Hype.
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 Not
Party.
opposite
Party.
party.
2 weeks of partying.
That
You
was
went to
after.
Vegas
That
for a
was
week.
after.
Let's go through it, Max. You've obviously playing tonight. We've discussed that. Collingwood, it's going to be an absolute belter. They're saying 95,000.
The
Yeah, hopefully.
consequences are just enormous.
Huge.
Yeah, I've
Straight into a prelim,
I've heard that
Max.
narrative. Obviously, the consequence if you lose a prelim, lose a qualifying final is bad, no matter what. I've heard the narrative that you got to go through Brisbane, but don't underestimate Port.
Oh, but you'd
Initially-
have to go through Adelaide as well. That's the
Yeah,
alternative.
and then also the Carlton Sydney is the harder of the elimination finals.
Yeah.
I doubt that GWS are in form. So there's 8 great teams. So there's if you lose, that's bad enough, and then you're probably going to come up against a team that's in form because they've
Yeah.
won a elimination final.
Carlton Sydney tomorrow night at the MCG. They've played once. Sydney won by 26 points round 11, so probably not a great form line there. Carlton's first final since 2013. It'll be the first final for Patrick Cripps, Charlie Curnow, Harry Mackay, Jacob Wiedering and Sam Doherty.
And I presume a few more Carlton
Plenty
guys as
more,
well, yeah,
yeah.
but they're the most experienced. This one will rain. My rain sensors are out there, and this one will rain.
Okay.
Oh, Max Bunn.
And Sydney got 50 points up against Crows in the wet, and
Yeah.
then Crows sort of brought them back, and then there was that Keys missed goal.
Mm.
So Sydney can play away, but Carlton beat us in the rain as well. So I don't know what I'm saying, but
Well, you're talking. You're using
yeah,
a lot of words, and
I'm
it's
speaking.
wonderful.
I'm
Yeah.
covering some air, which is good.
Do you think Sydney, and I think I've asked you this before, are still annoyed at themselves over last year's grand final? Is that motivation for them in the sheds
It'll be motivation now. I don't reckon it was motivation
Yeah.
in the middle
through
of
the year? But now it's
Now it
like
would be.
we cannot have a repeat of last year.
Yeah, I definitely use that. And to be fair, we are sort of talking about our exit last year, which was as humiliating.
So that's come up in chats.
Yeah, it's come up in chats. Certainly, my own performance internally, I'm making sure I don't go down that path again.
You won't.
Um,
You're on
so
fire.
I'm going to tip Sydney.
Wow.
That's okay. That's fine. That's.
Uh,
Do you know what? That is what we need.
Yeah, you need Max Gawn. This is going to get played in the change room.
Rosa
Yeah,
can't
yep.
even watch this game.
No.
She's actually not capable of even watching the game.
Okay, I'll watch it for you. I'll send you a text throughout,
Okay.
throughout the game.
All Australian snub. I know we've discussed it, but
Yeah.
now I'm really thinking about it. It's annoying me.
It doesn't annoy me as much.
It's annoying me.
I'm happy with 6.
Yeah.
Six is a good number.
It was
But
the lack of the squad nomination that was outrageous.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's absolutely outrageous.
on the night, you think about it maybe a couple of times, but then when you realise that the All Australian ruck's not in finals, and I've got a chance to be able to win a second flag, that's where
I
you
blame
land at.
Kane Corns.
He's the newest of selectors, and,
Yeah, and he would have been very vocal.
I've been in every team that Kane Corns
Yeah.
hasn't picked for, so it's not
Wow.
bad. No, it's not a bad blame. No, I don't blame Kane
Nah,
Corns.
I do.
Sounds like you do a little bit.
No, it sounds like you're blaming
It's okay.
Kane. I think I've hit a nerve there.
No, I've had a mediocre season.
Are you joking?
Don't you
mediocre.
dare.
Are
Sorry.
you kidding?
Okay, I've been best on.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That is what
What do you
we
think
need.
about your year up to now? Like, how do you see yourself? Have you got footballers' dysmorphia?
I certainly struggled as a forward for a bit there. So
You had a couple of wobbly ones in
yeah,
there,
I hold that pretty close to me because every footballer's got an ego, and when
for sure.
back to Brody again, it gets mentioned every time I'm on. But
Mm.
when you sell that message that we're going to try and make it work, and they go, all right, you can do some forward stuff, and then I don't make it work, it's a fair strike of the ego.
Mm.
So I'm still trying to be a forward. At the moment, I'm rucking, but at training and whatnot,
How are you slotting them?
the goal kicking's not the issue.
Mm.
It's actually just getting the ball. As a
Well,
forward.
is that positional? Is that speed off the mark? Because you're strong enough body-wise.
Yeah, I'm slow. I am slow.
So you've got to. What do you got to do? Try to stay in front.
You also a bit of full forward. You got to have a bit of swagger. You got to be the man.
Yeah.
And if you have any sort of self doubt down there, it just finds you.
Can you
down
go
in
old
the
school stud their boots? You know that sort of stuff.
Maybe.
Front studs down the Achilles. Any of that gear going on?
I just got to go talk to Tommy Mack and Jacob Van Rooyen and get a bit of swag off them because they both got swagger. They both want to be the man.
You should punch someone out at Entrecot.
No.
Because
feel
I know that can happen at your club.
No.
I feel like I'm answering a question and you're just going on a completely different level. Are we?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But it must be to the position you're in right now. When you think back to round 2, was it against Brisbane when you did your knee?
Yep.
And that potentially career ending, I think you said in the Herald Sun this morning.
Yep.
You must be proud of how it's turned around for you.
Yeah, that just to clear things up, Marty, I spoke to John Ralph on Monday and he's wrote the story on Thursday, so it looks like I've gone and spoken to John Ralph over you,
good.
But you didn't.
but I
Good
didn't. Well, I
clarification.
did 4 days ago.
Thank you, Max.
But
I appreciate
I wasn't
that.
invited to come in on Monday, so
Thank you for
Yeah.
clearing
Well,
the
that
air.
no worries. Yeah, it was obviously. I thought it was done. At the first thing that came to me in the Gabba change rooms when I was down there sooking was
Crying.
I knew this team would play finals again, and
Yeah.
the fact I wouldn't be
Yes.
able to lead the team into finals
Ugh.
would be one of the toughest things. And luckily enough, I've been given that chance. So when you talk about All Australian and stuff like that, it just means nothing to me because
Yeah.
there was
Here
an
you
outside
are.
chance that I wasn't even going to lead this team out on the MCG in front of 96,000 tonight.
God, it's going to be a belter.
Oh my gosh.
St Kilda GWS elimination final Saturday afternoon at the MCG.
Again, I'm going upset.
Who you going, St Kilda?
Sorry, a Giants
I
favourite.
think Giants are favourites.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm not going upset.
Yeah.
I'm going Giants.
You going Giants?
Do you have an opinion on Toby Bedford having been suspended almost 2 weeks ago and it's not decided at this point?
I tend to stay away from tribunals. I've never been suspended, and I don't really understand how it works too much.
Process.
You've
Um,
never been suspended.
Nah, and I don't follow the tribunal cases when they're up, so I don't really know how it works. All I know is Toby's an unbelievable player at the moment,
Yeah.
and Giants tend to win when he's going well, so it's a big one. I hope he gets off. Is it today? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
they're thinking it's resolved today. With
Hope
the
he gets
appeal.
a chance. Yeah, it was a shepherd. It looked like a shepherd,
Yeah.
but I hope he plays.
Lions, Port Adelaide qualifying final Saturday night at
At
the
Gabba.
MCG.
Sorry, that's a title.
Oh, I was going to say, how many games are they rolling out there?
Mm.
At the Gabba, where, of course, we know it's a fortress for the Lions.
Yeah, I'll go favourite in this one. I'll go the Lions.
Port have had a funny year, haven't
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. For some reason, I feel like they Port match up well against Brisbane. They did beat them
In round one
in round one.
at Adelaide Oval, but Brisbane won the last 5 before that.
Okay, well then I'm wrong. I just can picture it for some reason, but I think Brisbane will be too strong. First final at home.
they? Ooh, I'm nervous. I don't know why. I just got suddenly nervous. I also need to do poo, so it could be partly that.
I need to as well.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
should go together.
Well, we'll let
together.
you go.
I'll do a double work poo.
I've overhydrated, I think, and
I know the feeling.
yeah.
Do you use Metamucil?
No.
You should.
Okay,
Max, go well.
Yes.
we're finishing on that note, are we?
Yeah.
Better use it.
I've got a fantastic feeling about
D's.
you,
Thank you.
BOG,
Yeah.
by 3 goals.
Yeah.
My BOG performance is by 3 goals. of the
You
team.
win the game by 3
Okay.
goals, 18 points.
I mean, I'll take a 1 point win. They're a pretty good team.
So
Sorry,
then
not
you'd
pretty
have
good, but-
2 weeks off, a win, and another 2 weeks.
No, 1 week. There's
1
no bye
week.
before the granny.
Yeah, no more
Yeah.
buys from here.
So you'd have 1 game in 4 weeks.
Yep.
I don't understand this system. It doesn't make any sense.
We had 1 game in 5 weeks going into a granny.
Yeah, it didn't hurt you then.
No.
No.
I don't mind rest. I don't mind. There's the whole Western Bulldogs come from 8th and played every game and knocked off the top 4, but that happened 10 years ago. Hasn't happened since. So,
Mm.
Yeah, that's a long time ago in
yeah.
elite sport.
yeah, the rest isn't that important. Playing football isn't that important in that part. And as long as you train hard and train well.
Well done, Max. Go well.
Go well,
Yes.
Max.
Go on, Max.
Go, Dee.